Hi. So, in this video, I'm going to be telling you 10 signs and symptoms that nursing is not for you. So, if you can relate to any of these, in fact, the more of these signs and symptoms, as I call them, you can relate to, the more likely it is that nursing is 100% definitely not a profession for you. Look, nursing is not for everybody. It's only for the chosen few, it's only for the special people, it's only for the people who are really dedicated to the profession, you know those are the only people that can really last in nursing. Because if you can relate to all these 10 things that I'm going to be saying, in fact, the more of them you can relate to, the less likely it is that you're going to last in nursing or enjoy nursing. And even if you do last, you're going to be miserable. So please do, watch this video till the end, because I'm going to be telling you what these 10 signs and symptoms are, as I call them, because they're going to guide you and be like, is that me? Is this me? Yes, that's me. Of course, that's me. Or yes, this is not me. So you need to make sure that you're very, very attentive. And even if you're already a qualified nurse, it should make you reflect on the kind of nurse that you are. What sort of a nurse are you? Are you dedicated? Are you committed to nursing? What's your motivation? What is your drive? What keeps you ticking? What makes you going? So that's why I've made this video. So the first one is you don't like people. Look, there are certain people that would say to you, I'm not people's person. I don't like people at all. If that is you, nursing, my friend, is not for you. Because with nursing, it's people, 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 and people. It's all about people. It doesn't matter what nursing role you're having. Some people are like, oh, Melvis, can I work in outpatient clinic so that I have nothing to do with people? I'm like, look, you're still going to have people come there. They're like, oh my God, I can't stand people. Look, with nursing, you're dealing with human beings all the time. So if you're somebody who doesn't like people, please, nursing is not for you. You should stay away. If you're already a nurse, maybe consider another profession, because look, you need to be warm towards people. You need to just have that basic human likeness, that basic human, dignity for fellow human beings. And look, you may be surprised thinking, really, are there people that are not into people? Yes, there are many people who are not into fellow humans. So it is definitely a thing. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, you're welcome here. It's a beauty to have you. It's always a privilege, to have you here. If you're a returning subscriber, I appreciate your time. And look, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do hit subscribe, turn on that notification button, because I'm all about, everything nursing, career progression, entrepreneurship, being not only just a nurse, but being the best version of yourself and enjoying nursing as you rightfully should. Because nursing is not a profession where you want to be doing because you've got no options, because you're stuck. You want to do it because you're passionate, because you're supporting people, you're working with people, you're helping people at a time where they are most vulnerable. It is very important to me that the right people come into nursing. When they're worrying about numbers, I'm like, look, it's not just about the numbers. Yes, numbers are important, but you need to have the right people. And also, who am I? So obviously I'm a nurse, I think you've seen that already. So I'm a nurse. I work for the NHS as an advanced nurse practitioner. So I work in England, and I have a private career coaching service where I support nurses, student nurses, and carers with career progression in the UK, as well as entrepreneurship. Because look, while I love nursing and I enjoy nursing, I also believe that I don't want to work in nursing until I'm 80, gray, and dead. I want to make sure that I'm still young, I've still got the energy, because nursing can kind of suck out all the energy from you. So, retiring early, thinking about those side businesses. If this is something that you're keen on, do check out my private coaching program, which I'm going to drop the link below, and make sure that you join and get in contact with me, because you can start progressing. You can start looking at other opportunities, other entrepreneurial business ideas, so that we can all retire early. That is the goal. So that was the first one. The second one is nursing is all about lifelong learning. Look, if you don't like to learn till you drop, nursing is not for you, because if you're going to be start thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be a student nurse, I can't wait for it to finish because then I'm done. No, you're not done yet. You're only about to start. Because with nursing, like, the more I've progressed in nursing, the more courses I have to do. In fact, right now, I'm already an advanced nurse practitioner, and yet I'm currently doing my master's, which is like a crash course into medicine. And I've got my dissertation that I'm doing. There are so many courses. Then, they keep, and then as a nurse prescriber as well, there's even more. And then you have the NMC that keeps sending all these updates. Then there's revalidation that you have to do every 3 years as a nurse. And when I saw the NMC numbers, when I saw how many people are losing their NMC PIN number because of revalidation, just because they are so nervous about revalidating that they lose the PIN number, I was like, OMG, I just didn't expect this. But yes, nursing is all about lifelong learning. So if you're not ready for lifelong learning, ask yourself again, am I ready? Because that's what nursing is all about. The NMC also stresses on the importance of making sure that we're using the most up-to-date evidence, because if you're caring for a patient and there's something that is new, that's what you're meant to be using. And that's why nursing education in England has all changed from a diploma to everybody needing to have a degree. It's because of extensive evidence supporting the fact that nurses who have a degree are more productive, or they offer better quality patient care than nurses who don't have a degree. So nursing is all about lifelong learning. If you think completing that degree, getting that PIN number is the end, or if you're an overseas nurse, you're thinking once you have your IELTS, OET, CBT, you're done. No, you haven't even started, because it is lifelong learning. And if you're like me, you're keen on career progression, there's even more learning. Like I say, I'm doing my master's right now, and the master's is 3 years. It's literally a crash course into medicine. It's taking all of my time, but that's what I've signed up for. So that's what nursing is. The third thing and sign and symptom that you're not, nursing is not meant for you if you're not able to do this, is political correctness. Look, nursing, I think, is the only profession where you have to be politically correct all the times. No matter what is happening, you always have to be seen to be doing the right thing, and you always have to be heard saying the right thing. There's never going to be a time where there's an excuse for you as a nurse to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, because if nobody's going to listen, they're going to say to you, you're a nurse, you should lead by example. You should be upholding the reputation of the profession. You should be XYZ. And because of that, it's a lot of stress and it's a lot of pressure on many of us nurses, because the expectation that people have from you is quite a lot. You have to be politically correct all the times, no excuse whatsoever. So this puts a lot of stress. This means that even if people are rude to you, you still have to just look at them with a smile and be like, oh, I'm really sorry, or explain yourself all the times. Again, this is one of the reasons why it can get very stressful in the profession, but it is a nice thing, because once you develop that skill and you know how to interact with people, it gets a little bit better, and then you're not so stressed about it. And that's why communication is a very important skill in nursing. In fact, for me, it's the most important skill that we should have as nurses, because effective communication, you're going to learn the verbal and the non-verbal, so you know how to interact with patients, with relatives, with colleagues, co-workers, everyone else. And that helps you to also become a better person in yourself, which for me is one of the biggest advantages that nursing actually has, is the fact that it doesn't only improve your life professionally, but improves your life personally as well. I mean, privately, because if we implement some of those things that we learn at work in our personal lives, look, we'll be better people. So that's the third one. And then the fourth one is difficult co-workers. Oh my goodness, with nursing, look, when we were talking about people, it's not only patients, we've got co-workers as well. You're going to have co-workers that are a massive pain, but you need to be able to put up with them. You need to find a way to cohabit with them. You need to find a way to work with them. And if you're not able to work in a team, you're not able to work with people, is nursing for you? You need to work on it. That is a skill that you must have, to be successful in nursing. You have to be able to work with people. If you have an emergency, you cannot do it all alone. You need to be able to delegate tasks as well. So if you're a nurse, you've got other nurses you're working with, you've got senior staff, you've got doctors, you've got even relatives, patients themselves, junior staff, student nurses, healthcare assistants, carers. You need to be able to delegate to them and say, look, can you help me with A because I'm doing B? Can you support, this patient to go to the bathroom because I'm trying to give medication to patient B? Can you please help me check this medication because I'm doing an IV? So you need to have that skill, Yes, you need to be able to work alone, but you also, most importantly, need to be able to work in a team. Very important. So you're going to have very difficult co-workers, and you must find a way of working with them. Even if you decide you're going to leave a job because the co-workers are difficult, look, if it takes a long time to apply for a job and do everything, to be able to leave, and yet you have to work every day. So you need to find a way, in order to live with other co-workers. And look, many co-workers are very difficult, to deal with. So again, this is something that you will have to live with. If you think it is not for me, there's no way I'm going to compromise. Nursing, my friend, is not for you. That's what I'm saying. It isn't. You must compromise all the times. All the time. Never going to be an excuse. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do hit subscribe. I also want to see, if you're a nurse, what has your experience been? Leave a comment below and say, Melvis, I will implement, because these are skills that I'm telling you already, so that you can begin to improve on these skills. If you're already a nurse and you're relating to some of these things, yes, you need to improve on those skills to make sure that you get them to a higher level. Because if you're dealing with human beings, you need to be able to interact appropriately. You need to be able to interact in a way that is acceptable. You need to be politically correct all the times. If you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe, turn on the notification button, because I drop a video on here every single day. And like I said, I'm all about career progression. I have a private coaching program where I support with career progression in the UK. So you want to make sure you're getting in contact with me, to support you to grow, to thrive. If you're struggling with anything, you have any questions, so do check that out as well. So the next thing is abuse. We're talking about difficult co-workers abuse. You're going to get abuse from everywhere, from everybody. And some people are going to tell you that, look, it's okay. I've had, I've highlighted about abuse in one of my nursing jobs in the past. I said to a manager, there's a lot of abuse going on here. This is not acceptable. The manager called me and said to me, Melvis, as nurses, there's a certain level of abuse that we need to accept. We can't just keep complaining. That's how the job is. I was like, really? Abuse is part of the job? How much abuse do I have to accept as a nurse? She was like, well, you need to be able to accept some level of abuse. I was like, what level of abuse exactly? And then when I looked on the wall, we had flyers everywhere saying we have zero tolerance to abuse. But at the same time, a senior manager was saying to me, we need to accept a certain level of abuse. Leave a comment below about what you think about this, what your experience has been in nursing. Have you experienced some of these things? And if you are getting into nursing, you need to be able to deal with these things, because they are going to happen. People are going to tell you things that are going to be so hurtful to your feelings, to your emotions, but you need to find a way to cope. You need to find a way, and that is your motivation. That's what's going to guide you. That's what's going to lead you. That's what's going to keep you going. Otherwise, it's going to be so tough. And look, probably nursing, my friend, is not for you. Because yes, we all cannot be nurses. There are other professions that you can do, so it's about enhancing that particular skill. So we're going to go to number 6. So number 6 is pay. If you're thinking of riding a Maserati, a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, nursing is not a profession for you to be in. But the good news is that there are ways that you can earn more. There are ways that you can enhance your pay, which there are many ways you can progress in your career. For example, that's going to help you to earn more. You can do agency, you can work extra shifts, which is not really my best way of earning more, because I rather progress, work fewer hours, earn more. That's my ideal scenario. That's what I advocate for, and that's what I teach in my coaching program. But yes, other methods such as working extra hours have their own place, because it helps you have that financial boost. If you have a project coming up, like you're trying to buy a house or anything like that, that can be quite a good way for you to raise a large amount of money in a short time. So every method has its place, but you want to make sure that you're focusing on career progression, because that is a sustainable way. And as you're aging as well, it's going to be easier for you, because you're going to get better jobs. When you get a better paying job, you need to work fewer hours. So if you're older, you can easily cope with it. But so when you're still young in nursing, you want to make sure you're thinking about tomorrow, because you're not going to stay as you are. So pay is obviously very miserable. And in fact, as we speak, nurses in the UK are going to be striking because of low pay, which is a good thing. I hope that my trust is striking, because I'm going to be out as well, because I think it's absolutely needed, because the pay isn't the best. But like I've said, there are other ways that you can earn more. So if your intention is to get a Lamborghini, Maserati, Ferrari, you're not going to be getting that anytime soon with your nursing pay, if you're not really, really smart, strategic, and putting up a very good financial plan. You will not be able to do it. So that's number 6. Number 7 is self-care and beauty. Look, in other professions, you look at them, they're doing manicures, they're doing pedicures, they're doing makeup, they're looking on sleek. With nursing, look, the expectation is that if you do certain hairstyles, I used to have, various hairstyles that I did at work. And one of my managers said to me, Melvis, I think your hairstyles, it's too much for work. You're a nurse. You need to tone it down. And I was like, yeah, but I'm African. These are Afro hairs. So this is, this is how I do my hair as an African person. And she thought that it wasn't acceptable. So I had to change my hairstyle just to fit, within that environment. And while I felt very hurt, I felt obliged to do that, which I did do. So that's one of the things. Again, student nurses in England, when I was training as a student nurse, so many of my friends and colleagues left nursing because they were not allowed to do their nails and do their makeup. They were like, look, there's no way I'm going to go without my makeup. There's no way I'm going to work without my, nails done. And they left nursing for that reason. So even if you have like the tiniest sort of just trying to feel good and look good, some managers are like, hey, that's not allowed. You shouldn't do that. Look, if you're not able to put up with things like this, my dear, nursing is probably not for you. And I'm telling you, it is a thing. There are people that they're so into their makeup, and they have to have it on to go out because that is how they are. That's what gives them confidence, which is okay. But in nursing, you're gonna have issues because many of the managers will be like, hey, this not allowed, that's not allowed, this not allowed, uniform policy, XYZ, blah blah blah, and just stress the whole place out. So if you haven't subscribed to, hit subscribe, turn on that notification button because we're now at number 7, because we've already discussed 6. How many of these do you relate to? Leave it in the comment section. What has been your experience with nursing? Have you experienced some of these things? I just want to know so that we can just share some ideas, have a good laugh, but still carry on in the profession. Because if you can't cope with these things, my dear, the profession is probably not for you. Like number 7 is the blame game. As a nurse, you're likely always going to be wrong. If the doctor prescribes a medication wrongly and you administer it, you're going to get told, why didn't you check? If you had checked, this would not have happened. If a patient is allergic to something and they have a medication, you're going to get told, if you had checked, this would not have happened. If the physiotherapist does not walk the patient or mobilize the patient or do this, as the nurse, you're going to get told, why didn't you follow up? If the patient's got, as the nurse, you are the center of that patient, which is a positive thing, but it is very challenging because all the other healthcare professionals, anything they don't do is going to come down to you and they're going to ask you, why didn't this patient have this done? Why didn't Mr. X have this done? And it's going to be all your responsibility. And look, when they talk about working under pressure, that leads us beautifully to number 9, working under pressure. It's not only for interviews, it's in real life, especially now that nursing is very short staffed. If you're going to work, you don't know where you're going to end up. You can end up being moved to another ward, a specialty that you don't know, that you don't like, where you've never been. You just need to be ready because working under pressure is a skill that you must have if you're getting into nursing. You must be able to work under pressure and do so gracefully because it is not easy. It is not easy. You're going to get to work, and if you have 30 patients and you should have 6 nurses, if you've only got 3 nurses, you still need to do everything the same way as if you had 6 nurses. There's no excuse to say, oh, look, Mr. Smith, you're not able to have your medications because we're short of 3 nurses. We've only got 3 nurses. And nobody cares about that. Nobody's interested. You just need to do what you're supposed to do. And this makes it very, very challenging. And this is one of the reasons why so many people have left the profession. So again, you need to find coping strategies. You need to find ways of enhancing those skills so that you can come out head high, shoulders out, and be able to execute perfectly and efficiently. Because look, there's never going to be an excuse why you can't do anything for a patient or whatever it is that you need to do. Whether you're short staffed, you're not short staffed, you know the word, you don't know the word, is not accepted. Then expectation. Look, there are so many unrealistic expectations from you as a nurse. Everybody's going to expect all this perfection. You're going to get told that you're a nurse, you should not do this, you should not say this. And that's just one of the things that just makes the whole nursing profession, again, very stressful. If you're not able to put up with this pressure, you're not able to, be able to comport yourself and be like, oh my God, I can cope with this. It's going to be tough. It will 100% definitely be tough. Why am I telling you these things? I'm telling you these things so that you can begin to work on them. You can begin to find ways to improve on these skills. If you can relate to some of these skills and you're struggling with, you need to find ways to improve on your skills, because the more you improve, the more you're going to be better at relating with other people. The more you can relate with other people better, the more efficient you're going to be in your job. The more efficient you are in your job, the less stressed you're going to be. The less stressed you're going to be, the more you're going to enjoy what you're doing. The more you enjoy what you're doing, then your patients are going to have even better outcome. If your patients have a better outcome, you're going to be free and safe, and you're going to love what you do, because this nursing, look, it is not for everybody. And I do tell some people, look, if this is not you, or if this is you, then please maybe consider other options, consider another career. But nursing is still obviously well worth it, and it's about adapting your skills. It's about learning, like we said, lifelong learning was our second point. You have to keep on learning. You have to know that there's nothing that you know till the end. There's always room for improvement, because things change, policies change, everything gets upgraded. You need to change and move with the times. You can't say, oh, this is how we did this thing 10 years ago, so that's how we're going to do it. No, if things have changed, you need to also adapt and change your own ways so that you can accommodate the new changes that have been implemented, because again, it's part of the NMC code, making sure that you're updating yourself. Again, that comes in through the validation, those CPDs, doing that training, extra training face to face, online, making sure you've got that evidence. So that's what it's about. These are the 10 points that I've got to share with you. I've done loads of content about nursing. If you want to find out, just check out the channel, check out the other videos that I've done. I'm very interested in entrepreneurship, career progression. So like I said, I have a private coaching program where I support with this. You want to start your own side business, to make sure that you retire early. Yes, as you're doing nursing, you need something on the side to also have that income that is going to help you, like I've said, to hopefully retire early, because look, early retirement is a thing. When you look at how the retirement age keeps going up, it's like by the time those of us now that are in our 30s, by the time we retire, it's likely going to be 70 years old or 75. Do you want to be working at the age of 75? If yes, what job do you see yourself doing at the age of 75 as a nurse? Do you want to see yourself as a band 5 nurse on the ward? Do you want to be on a beach somewhere chilling out? Do you want to be, with your children or grandchildren somewhere, caring for them and going away on holidays? Or do you want to be on the ward still working as a nurse at the age of 70, 75? I rest my case, because you need to make hay while the sun shines. That's why I'm committed to bringing this to you, and that's why I'm making all these videos. If you like the content, give it a like. It just encourages me to know that you like the content. Again, if you have anything you want to recommend, drop it in the comment section. Better still, if you need support with career progression, starting your own side business, again, check out my private coaching program, because this is something that I'm passionate about and that I specialize in doing. So keep watching the videos, share with your colleagues that you think are gonna find this relevant, just to have a laugh, and leave any comments below on some of the things that you relate to in this video. Keep watching.